I'm here in Troy, New York at the studio of Jon Gernon, who's bringing pop surrealism to a gallery near you. Let's go.
I don't think artwork should be traditional. I think it should be completely off the wall. Anybody that's making something, you're making something that didn't exist before. So if you're taking something you thought in your head and you're putting it out there, to me that's a piece of artwork. I mean, the term art is used very loosely now. Subway calls their sandwich artists. So at the end, every artist is illustrating an idea. Started as a kid, probably when I was 7 or 8 years old, and I would be at my grandmother's house on Saturday mornings watching old Abbott and Costello movies. And I would draw some of the monsters and things that I saw on there. Creature from the Black Lagoon, the werewolf, things like that. I started doing it, picking up illustrating jobs here and there. And it was fun at the beginning, but the thing I didn't like was, again, I didn't like being told what to draw. Like somebody would come and say, we need you to draw a snowman. So I would draw a snowman and then I'd present it to them and they're like, no, it's gotta be simple. It's just gotta be, 3 balls and, 2 black eyes. And I didn't see it that way, so it didn't work out well. So I started looking for other things and that's when I started finding fine art. It was going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and when I was down there, I saw a show which had drawings by an artist named Jon Gernon. And these drawings kind of reminded me of some of the horror movie images that I had seen, because there were all these characters and these figurative pieces that were, all wretched and stuff like that. So I just saw that and I was like, wow, this is art. This is fine, what they call fine art. This is kind of close to what I think I'm doing. So that's where it started with Jon Gernon, and then it just kind of propelled from there. A lot of the pieces that you'll see today are pieces that are going to be for a show that I'm working on for later next year. And they're based on myths, and they're based on fairy tales, and they're just filled with all sorts of odd things that in the fine art world that wouldn't really be considered fine art. They would probably be considered more illustrative. They're a direct result of looking at artists like Arthur Rackham and John Anster Fitzgerald. They're really lush, the colors vivid and bright, and so that's what I'm trying to put into these pieces. So the painting that I'm working on is probably going to be the centerpiece of the next show, and it's just going to be like this. It's like a fairy forest, like a dark forest, and a little hokey, but also a little bit whimsical, and also very vibrant with color. And there's no real stories to them. I don't like to make the viewer know the story. I want them to look at it and come up with their own idea. And sometimes they'll come up with ideas that are better than the idea I had. Most people are very receptive to it when they look at work like this. And there has been a movement of this type of work in the last probably 20 years. They call it pop surrealism or new contemporary art. So there are more galleries and even some museums that this work is starting to pop up in. And it's now broken that barrier of fine art. I try to always have 1 or 2 pieces in a show that have the frame is part of the artwork. And that is just from years of being a custom framer. So I started making my own frames. I wanted to make a frame for this painting that adds a dimension to it. Something that's a little bit odd, something that you wouldn't normally see. And again, it's that thing of trying to draw people into the artwork. some people will look at that and think that's ridiculous. But they'll think about it. They'll remember it. Not to knock landscape painters, but when you walk into somebody's house and you're expecting they're probably going to have a landscape painting, and you just make a beeline right past it most of the time because it's part of the setting. So I don't want, with my artwork, I don't want that. I want, whether they like it or not, I want them to stop and just be like, what is that?